When learning how to think, one good thing to do is to learn how not to think. This can make one come closer to figuring out how to think. This is where studying logical fallacies can come in handy. That being said, there are 4 important things I believe one should remember when studying logical fallacies. But before I get to that, what is a logical fallacy in the first place? A logical fallacy, or just fallacy for short, is a reasoning that may appear good, but upon further evaluation is generally recognized to be bad for believing something. Another way you can look at this is that a fallacy is a common type of error in reasoning that may look good, but is considered bad. It's bad because the reasoning doesn't give someone a good reason to believe that something is true or very likely to be true. You can look up on the internet for a list of common fallacies and study them. However, before you decide to do this, or if you are currently doing this, there are 4 important things I would like you to remember when studying fallacies. First off, don't memorize fallacies. Instead, do your best to understand them and how come they are considered bad reasons for believing something. You can do this by making sure you spell out the reasoning for a belief to help you visualize the reasoning. By doing this, you will better understand how come a reasoning is bad as opposed to memorizing fallacies. Now, as you study fallacies, you will come across a fallacy that you should always keep in the front and back of your mind, which is the second important thing. Don't commit the fallacy. This is when someone believes that because someone provided a bad reason for believing something, that thing must therefore be false. It's entirely possible for that thing to be true despite the bad reasoning provided by the person. A bad reason doesn't mean that the belief is false. It just means that the reason to believe the thing isn't a good reason. For example, if I am mortal, then I am an elephant, and I am an elephant, therefore I am mortal. The conclusion appears to be true, but the reasoning seems bad, doesn't it? After you have a basic understanding of various types of fallacies, you will probably start applying what you have learned to your everyday interactions with others. In your day-to-day life, you will most likely encounter instances where others commit fallacies. While it may be fun to point these out to others to make yourself appear intellectually superior, it is not very useful for helping others become better thinkers. Not to mention, it is not very polite. This brings me to my third important thing, which is be kind and forgiving towards others for committing fallacies. While you may believe that some people purposely use fallacies to deceive, the deceptiveness of fallacies is such that many who use them are themselves deceived by them. For this reason, I would say it's good to presume that a person who commits fallacies is not engaged in purposeful deception. Help others, don't destroy them. Now, while it is important to help others become better thinkers by helping them be aware of fallacies that they commit, there is one other person whom you should also pay close attention to so that they do not commit fallacies. That person is you. My final important thing is this. Focus a lot on ensuring you are not committing fallacies. If you want people to think better, then perhaps you should be the change that you want to see in the world. After all, it really undermines your credibility for helping others think better when you yourself are not practicing what you preach. Putting this all together, here are the 4 important things on one slide. Don't memorize fallacies. Instead, Do your best to understand them and how come they are considered bad reasons for believing something. Don't commit the fallacy. Be kind and forgiving towards others for committing fallacies, and focus a lot on ensuring you are not committing fallacies. With that said, enjoy learning about how not to think, and remember to take care and think critically.